So, the constellations are in the sky. And the constellations are the clusters of stars that have made up that particular astrology sign, that particular zodiac sign. When a planet moves through that particular constellation, it makes you, when the sun moves through a particular constellation, it makes you that sun sign. So the sun was moving through the constellation in the sky of Scorpio when I was born. So I'm a Scorpio sun sign. The moon was moving through the constellation in the sky of Capricorn when I was born. So I'm a Capricorn moon. So when we're talking about the nodes of Aries and Libra, we're talking about the nodes, which are the opposite ends of the planet, of the star, of the moon. So these are the nodes of the moon. And the moon in astrology is going to talk to you about your innermost feelings, your innermost emotions, and the innermost mind that you have. Okay? The things that have come through your lineage and are now with you in your mind. So, those nodes, North Node, is where you're headed throughout your interaction with your moon sign. The North Node is where you're headed. It's an indication of what you should be going to with your soul, because your moon sign is definitely related to the soul because it's related to the mind. And those two things are related. Why? Because the soul passes through many flesh, many bodies. The soul is more so the mind. The spirit is more so what makes you alive. The soul is more so the consciousness. So the moon is an indication of the energy that the consciousness could be taking. So the nodes are going to let you know which way you're going and which way that you've already cultivated, and you're not going to leave it. We don't leave the South Node. It's already cultivated. So it's going to help us build to that North Node. Whatever we have cultivated in the South Node, it's going to help us build to that North Node, which is tied to purpose. It's tied to your individual purpose here on this planet. And it's tied to how your consciousness is going to tell your body and your mouth and everything that you do, how your consciousness is telling you to live, to be, to experience this life. The moon sign gives you some information on that. How your consciousness, your inner self, is experiencing this life. The nodes are going to tell you in what direction you should be headed using that energy of the moon, of that sign, what way you should be headed, and what you've already cultivated to build towards where you're headed. So, the nodes have shifted. And the nodes have shifted into Aries and Libra. These are not your personal nodes. These are the nodes for the collective. These are the nodes for everyone. And how you make it personal to you is you need to know where Aries is in your chart, and you need to know where Libra is in your chart. And when I say you need to know where it is, you need to know what house it's in. And that's why you hire an astrologer, as myself or many other beautiful astrologers out there, to guide you in what area of your life has what energy in it based on the zodiac sign that is inside of that area of your life. So there's an area for kids, there's an area for spouses, there's an area for money, there's an area for family, there's an area for all of those things, and they're called houses. And you have energy that are inside of those houses. So you want to know where Aries is, and you want to know where Libra is. Aries is the energy of the warrior, the lone wolf, individual, instinct, willpower. It's fire, and it's cardinal fire, so it gets things started and it innovates things. Aries is the first because it's the first sign. Once the cycle starts over again, it starts back with Aries in spring, when everything is sprouting from the dead. Everything has been dead in the wintertime. So when spring comes around, it's sprouting, and Aries is that energy there. So think about how a bud of grass or how a blade of grass may have to fight to get out into the world, to pop its head out of the dirt and into the world. Think about what's going on underground. Think about, do the action. Think about what's going on underground. Think about how much work and willpower that a seed, the consciousness of a seed, must have in order to grow. Think about, it's an individual blade of grass that puts the whole picture together, right? It's an individual blade of grass, and that individual blade of grass, in that grand scheme of things, is Aries. That fighter, that warrior that's gonna make the shit happen with you or without you. Aries is an individual sign that doesn't really need anyone else to make shit happen. And that's the North Node. That's where everyone is headed collectively, making things happen, and they don't really need anybody else to make anything happen because their willpower alone is going to will in the change. It's going to get everything moving. It's going to get us going. However, so that's the North Node. That's where we're headed. But what we've already cultivated here in the South Node is Libra. Relationships. The other. Bartering. You do this, I do this. Merchant place. You give me this, I give you that. How to negotiate. How to use the other for what the other has, and the other uses you for what you have. How to be in partnership, right? So you have Aries, individuality, and you have Libra, the diplomatic partnership that wants things to be fair. And that's why Libra is the balancing scales, because sometimes shit ain't fair, and it tilts, but we always want to get it back to that equilibrium. The energy of Libra always wants to get it back to the equilibrium. And so now you have these two energies. One is where you're headed to, getting shit done on your own willpower, your own choice, your own instinct. I know I need to be doing this, so let me get about doing it. Aries is a do, go, go. It's a masculine sign, so it's a doing sign. And Libra is a doing sign as well, because it's a masculine sign. But Libra is a masculine air sign, so the air rules the intellectualness. Is that a word? I don't know. But Libra rules your intellectual capabilities. How smart are you to be able to negotiate one-on-one for I got this, you got this, let's come together and make it mutually beneficial, instead of up in Aries, we're fighting because I'm the leader and I said, let's do this. No, don't get it twisted. We need the leader. But we also need to be able to negotiate with the team. We also need to be able to bring everybody's, to have those one-on-one relationships so that we can get to where we're going. Because everyone knows nobody really is self-made. There's always a relationship. There's always something that helps you to get to where you're going. So right now, the relationships that you have cultivated, the relationships that are mutually beneficial and that you have cultivated, they're going to get you to where you're going. And you instinctually know where you're going. You instinctually know what you need to do. You instinctually have the willpower in order to do it. It's about action. It's about taking charge of your consciousness. Because remember, the nodes are on the moon, which is the consciousness, which is the mind. So it's about taking control of your consciousness and using your mind as a tool to will in whatever it is that you are creating. And on top of the mindset that you have to get it done, to get some shit started, to innovate some stuff, to be a trailblazer, to be a leader in whatever respective area that this is in. Because remember that where Aries in your chart matters. This is a collective energy that we're talking about. Everybody's going to be feeling this, that warrior and get up and go. Everybody's going to be feeling it. But how you make it personal is, where do I get up and go? Where have I cultivated these relationships? And that is the power of astrology, because it's letting you know the where, the what energy, and of course we let the universe figure out the how. But when we know where we're going, we know where we've been and what we've cultivated, and we know where to look, makes it a little bit more simple. So this is what's going on right now with Aries moving into the North Node and Libra into the South Node. And of course it gets a little bit more extensive, but that is a personal thing. So if you want to know where that is in your specific chart, all you have to do is just click the link and we'll get you booked. Get your chart read. I'll pull a few cards if you're into that type of thing. If you're not, don't worry about it. I use Oracle. I don't use Tarot. Not anything against Tarot. Not anything against Oracle. Not anything against the Bible. I flip through that too. We are all connected. There's one higher power. Just one. And there are many different ways to get there. The basis of that higher power is love. So I'm wishing you love. I'm wishing you peace. And I'm wishing you abundance, because we have everything that we need and we want. So go ahead and book your reading. And yeah, I love y'all. And know thyself.